Hi there, my name's John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts. We tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the fourth Sunday after Epiphany. Sometimes the Sundays roll in, so I have to double check. Fourth Sunday after Epiphany, and we're looking at the gospel lesson and a little bit of the second reading. And the gospel's Matthew, out of Matthew, and it's the Beatitudes. And when I read the Beatitudes, I am surprised. I get surprised. I read this and I think those who are blessed doesn't seem... It's like God is looking at the world different than humanity. What? I know. Amazing. And it's true. It's like I read this and it's so surprising where it's like that there's this reversal going on yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I'm looking at ways that we can talk about seeing the world through God's eyes, seeing the world a little bit different. So thought about, I've used silly sunglasses and silly glasses before, but it's a nice way of getting the idea of seeing differently. God gives us a way of seeing differently. One of the ideas I was playing around with is a kaleidoscope. Looking and as the colors, and I love the idea of all the different colors and the rainbow and things like that. So Dollar Tree many times has kaleidoscopes. I didn't check to see if they have them now, but you can find how to make one online with a paper towel tube and a spinning disc. Or we used to do it where we would do we'd have the paper towel roll. We put wax paper on both ends, and then inside the tube putting colored beads. And you can get the colored beads at the Dollar Tree. You can get them cheap at Joann's or Michael's, and you put different colored beads in there, and you cap both ends with wax paper and put a rubber band, and you can hold that up to the light, and you can then you turn this, and as the beads turn and different colors. There's other ways to do it, I'm going that from memory, but a kaleidoscope looking at all the ways that, seeing all the different ways that you can, and seeing differently. That's the point on that, that God gives us a way of seeing the world differently. The other thing I'm playing around with is that there are times that we are surprised by recipes. And I'm not looking at the Beatitudes as a recipe for anything other than surprise, but I like the idea that there's times where we get surprised with a little story. So Luther Heights Bible Camp, it's a Bible camp that I went to as a kid. I worked there, and I remember as a kid, there was a camp cook that would make chocolate cake, but the chocolate cake had beets in it. It was the best chocolate cake ever, and when the camp cook said she made this with beets, I couldn't believe it. It'd be like, no way, no. It would be like when someone cooks with vegetables, and they get done, and they tell me they've used kale, and I've liked it. What? So there's this surprise that happens, that God is up to something, turning the world upside down and restoring the world and letting us see those around us in a different way. I love that image. Another way of working up surprise and working up about how doing things different, a way of doing it different is the other thing I'm thinking about is having you do your children's sermon in a different spot. Like normally we do ours right up front, chancel steps, we're right there, and we have our children's sermon. Perhaps doing the children's sermon from the back of the church, perhaps doing the children's sermon maybe gathered around the organ. So today we're going to do this here. Just having it in a different spot than normal, and how that feels, and talk to the kids, it's like, and I wonder if you were someone hearing the Beatitudes and your heart had been broken the day before, a parent or a child had died, and you're grieving, and you hear this, knowing the promise that there will it that there's hope for you, and the good news in that, and that difference. So anyway, lots of different ways to approach this. I hope one of these can be a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon. And as always, I so appreciate you taking this journey with me. If you would like this, maybe subscribe on YouTube and wherever else you get my Dollar Store Children's Sermon. I really appreciate it, and thanks for stopping by, and I do hope you have a fantastic week.